This video will look at how you can insert tables into a Microsoft Word document. So you can see here I've opened up a new blank document on the desktop version of Microsoft Word. I've navigated to the Insert tab, and just on the Insert tab there is a button called Table. If I click this little drop down arrow here, it will give me the option to insert a table to the size I choose according to these little blocks. Each one of these blocks represents a row or column in the table I can put into Microsoft Word. So for example, you could see here that I've got 4 columns and 1 row, and we can modify that to have any size table that we want. But if I go down to the Insert Table button, there is now an option to enter the number of columns and rows in numbers if I like. So if I just go back out of this menu and we go back to the Table button, there's also a button down here to draw your table. So you can click and hold, draw the size of the table that you want, and you can actually use the tool to split up that table according to the rows and columns. To look at this button again, we're going to insert a nice 4x4 table here as an example. If I move to the bottom right hand side of this table, I can now resize all of the rows and columns if I just click and hold and drag down. If I just hover over one of the row lines, I can now resize an individual row. If you want to resize an individual column, what you would do is hover over that vertical column line and you can resize that column to whatever size you like. If you want to merge 2 cells together, you would highlight them like this, right click it and click Merge Cells. That will join the 2 of those cells together, which is useful for headings, etc. Now say we have some information that we want to get rid of. So if I just hover down to the bottom of my table here and I highlight this entire row, and I will right click it and click Delete Cells. Now I'll be given the option to delete the cells, but I need to decide what happens with the data. So you can see you can shift the cells left, up, or you can delete the entire row or delete the entire column. So in this case, I want to delete the entire row. So then I press OK. My table is now resized without that row. If I want to type into an individual cell, I can just put in heading in text here as an example. And below the heading, I'll just put in some information that I might have for my CBA. If you want to highlight the text then, you can actually just modify or shade that box. So if you go to Table, tab up the top, and then you can choose shading to shade your individual cells. So I've chosen yellow and blue here. There are some other predefined table styles here that you can choose from to modify your table. So that's what it looks like on the desktop. Let's have a look at the iPad. So I have Microsoft Word here open on my iPad, and again I have a new blank document. If I zoom into the top here, there are several different tabs. What I want to do is go to Insert, and you will see once I click onto the page, the second button here, which is the Table button, will give me the option to insert a table. Now it's slightly different on the iPad. Once you click that Table button, it will give you a 3x3 table. So you have the options to delete rows or columns or delete the entire table here using this button up the top. You can insert a row above or below, or you can insert a column to the left or right. You can also choose to look at the merge button. So if you highlight some cells, you can merge them, that button will become available, or you can split cells in 2. You have the text align here, which can be left, centered, or to the right. And you can also align the text inside that cell, so whether it's going to lean towards the top or the bottom or be centered in that cell. If I click this button here, we can rotate all text by 90, or we can make all text horizontal. Auto fit then, it will automatically fit your contents of your table into its individual row or cell. For distribute or cell size or other options, you can choose the size of your cell. There are styling options here available to you as well. So if I click on table styles here, we'll see that there are several different predefined table styles for us to look at. And the last option available is the shading button here. So once I select my individual cells, I can go to the shading button and choose my colors. So that's how you insert tables in Microsoft Word, and it's really useful for organizing your CBA information.